And today is Relisha Rudd Remembrance Day.
Question tonight, where is Relisha Rudd? That is a question so many people want to know.
My heart actually hurts. It actually hurts.
Welcome to episode 2 of Vanished, a Crime Curve series exploring the stories of those who disappeared and the shadows they left behind. Today, we follow the story of Relisha Rudd, an 8-year-old girl lost in plain sight, a child the world should have protected, but didn't.
Wave to the police. Hey!
I've just been thinking about my daughter, where she could possibly be at.
Where do you think Relisha is right now?
I honestly can't answer that.
Because you know nothing good can come of a scenario like that.
Well, I mean, it's taking the whole investigation. It's not just coming into a certain area and trying to figure out a different way of doing that. But it's looking at all the different perspectives within the investigation. And you're right, this is a huge area. And even just coming in here today, I was looking, and you kind of look left and right and you just keep going, is that the spot? Is that the spot?
This is her story. You expect a missing child to trigger alarms. You expect search parties, media alerts, amber warnings. You expect adults to notice when an 8-year-old disappears. But Relisha Rudd didn't vanish from the forest or a quiet suburban home. She vanished from inside a city-run homeless shelter with hundreds of people around. And no one saw it happen. Not the shelter staff, not the school, not the city, not even her own mother. Relisha disappeared into the cracks of the system that was never built to protect her. And by the time anyone noticed she was gone, it was already too late. Relisha Rudd was born on October 29, 2005 in Washington, D.C. Her favorite color was purple. She loved Dora the Explorer, juice boxes, and pretend makeovers with her little cousins. She could braid a doll's hair in under 2 minutes, tight, clean rows like she'd watched her aunties do. She was playful, smart, and sensitive. But more than anything, Relisha just wanted someone to choose her. She didn't have stability. She didn't have safety. What she had was chaos. Her mother, Shamika Young, was 27 when Relisha disappeared. She had multiple children, no consistent income, and a long history of unstable housing.
Relisha.
How old are you now?
8.
By the time Relisha turned 5, she had lived in over 5 different places, family homes, motels, and then came the DC General Family Shelter. That building wasn't a home. It was a former hospital, rebranded as a shelter, overstuffed with more than 250 families. Its hallways were dim. The heating barely worked. Mice skittered across the floors. Violence between residents was common. Security was loose at best, absent at worst. For most of the children living there, the shelter was just one more stop on a long road of poverty and pain. But Relisha, she tried to make it feel like home. Because when you're 8 years old and the world is this dark, you learn to find light wherever you can. And people noticed that about her. Teachers at Payne Elementary described Relisha as soft and sweet. She was the child who offered to clean the classroom and who gave away her stickers. But behind her kindness were warning signs. She often came to school unbathed, wearing the same clothes for days. Her hair would go untouched for weeks. She fell asleep in class. She told her teacher she didn't want to go home at night. By the time Relisha was in 2nd grade, school was the only safe place she knew. And then she stopped showing up.
She did this.
She says, I love my mom. It's a lot going on as far as missing Relisha.
The Relisha. I love you.
She loved to dance.
Come on, Relisha, flex it.
She had a mouth on her. Her mouth was sassy, but not too sassy.
Your daughter. The body of an adult male that is deceased.
The shelter give us some place to stay.
Until then, there are lingering questions about this case. Is Relisha dead or alive? Was she sold into sex trafficking? And who would want to hurt the beautiful little girl with the bright eyes and the pretty bows?
Between February and March of 2014, Relisha missed over 30 days of school. When questioned, her family gave the school a name. She's with Dr. Tatum, they said. She's getting treatment. But there was no Dr. Tatum. There was Khalil Tatum, a 51-year-old shelter janitor with a criminal history stretching back decades. And yet, for weeks, he took Relisha in and out of the shelter, sometimes overnight. No check-ins, no questions, no reports filed. He brought her gifts, new clothes, food, a tablet. He took her to his home, to his relatives, to hotels. And no one stopped him. No one followed up. When a school social worker finally arrived at the shelter on March 19, 2014, she asked to speak with Dr. Tatum. Shelter staff said, "There is no doctor here. Just a janitor, just Khalil Tatum." From that moment forward, every second became heavier. Khalil Malik Tatum wasn't a predator hiding in the shadows. He wasn't lurking in a van outside a school. He was a janitor, employed by the District of Columbia, on payroll, with a badge and a set of master keys to every room in the building. He gave her gifts, food, clothes, toys. He let her skip homework and play with his phone. He talked to her like she mattered. She had nothing. He gave her something. And in her world, that was enough. But what looked like kindness was something else entirely. Police were called. An alert was issued. Detectives began to retrace her steps. She had been missing for 18 days before anyone called the police. On March 19th, they pulled security footage from a local Holiday Inn. Going back all the way to March 1st there, she was walking down a hallway with Tatum. That was the last time anyone saw Relisha Rudd alive. Keep in mind, this is 18 days after she was already missing. The next day, on March 20th, Tatum's wife, Andrea, is found dead at a local Prince George's County Red Roof Inn. She had a gunshot wound to the head. Execution style. No forced entry. No struggle. Just a body on the floor and a storm building behind it. The man everyone ignored is now the center of a manhunt. Khalil Tatum is on the run. He has firearms. He has cash. And now, he has a dead wife and a missing child on his conscience. But where is Relisha? That's the question no one can answer. And with every passing hour, hope gets thinner. Police trace his last movements. They find his car abandoned near Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens, a vast stretch of wetlands in northeast D.C. Search teams swarm the area. They drag the river. They dig through the brush. They mark trees and drop GPS pins. And then something. A body. But it's not Relisha. It's him. Khalil Tatum. Dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Gun in hand. No note. No sign of the girl. The only person who knew the truth is gone. And that's when the rage hits. Why wasn't he stopped? Why wasn't she protected? Why did it take 18 days? The city erupts with blame. The school blames the mother. The mother blames the shelter. The shelter blames policy. The city says, "We're reviewing protocols." But none of it matters. Because she's still gone. They combed through Kenilworth Park for weeks. Volunteers, helicopters, dive teams. Nothing. Relisha didn't vanish like a ghost. She was carried away. By someone who knew the system wouldn't care. Who understood that if he moved slowly enough, no one would notice until it was far too late. And he was right. Khalil Tatum was dead. Relisha Rudd is missing. And everyone was out of answers. There would be no trial, no interrogation, no confession, no grave to visit. Just a dead man under a tree, and an 8-year-old girl who had been missing for weeks before anyone noticed. But when the manhunt ended, something else began. A reckoning. The public wanted blood, not from Tatum, from everyone who let it happen, from the mother who gave her child away like it was nothing, from the school that accepted Dr. Tatum as a real excuse, from the city shelter that hired a violent felon and never looked twice. For the first time, the world finally saw Relisha, but not how she deserved to be seen. Not as a child, not as a daughter, not as someone with dreams and favorite colors and bedtime songs. She was now a symbol. A headline: The girl lost in plain sight. The janitor and the vanishing.
There's an Amber Alert out there for this 8-year-old girl. Her name is Relisha Rudd. She's from Southeast D.C.
Where is she?
How D.C. failed Relisha Rudd. Relisha was never officially listed as a missing person until March 19th. And by then, her trail was ice cold. In the years since, no one has been charged in connection with Relisha's disappearance. Not her mother, not the shelter staff, not the school. The D.C. government shut down the shelter in 2018, 4 years too late. They claimed it was part of a long-term reform effort. Relisha Rudd is still listed as missing, endangered by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. She would be 18 years old today, graduating, driving, posting TikToks, getting ready for college, falling in love. But instead, she's a ghost in D.C. Silence is dangerous, and the cost of not asking questions can be a life. This was episode 2 of Vanished. Next time, a new story, another name, another person who slipped through the cracks and deserves to be brought back into the light. Until then, remember Relisha Rudd, and don't let her be forgotten. We will see you next Monday.